Hey friends, welcome to this part one of Tableau Desktop Specialist. So the Tableau is now a Salesforce product. Salesforce acquired Tableau last year, and Tableau is a business intelligence tool, very popular. This is the handle of this channel. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so. There are so many contents playlists on cloud certifications, majorly AWS, Google Cloud, Azure, Snowflake, and now we are also adding the latest parts of Tableau certification as well. So since the channel is totally focused on cloud certifications, in the cloud world, we use Snowflake a lot because it is not cloud platform like specific. You can move from AWS to Azure easily. Same with Tableau. If you use Tableau instead of you making use of say Power BI, because with the problem with Power BI is if you are on Azure world, you are doing great. But if your cloud strategy now says, hey, you know what, we need to move to AWS, then what will you do? You will have to do a Power BI installation on EC2 instances and drive it that way. So usage of Tableau will get rid of those complexities. Whether you are on Azure, you are using Tableau, and if you want to migrate to AWS, perfectly fine. You can do a Tableau migration and it will work perfectly fine. You don't have to choose a new tool, redevelop the reports and those things. Let us look at the questions. You need to access options. So if you look at the questions here, a lot of questions will test your knowledge on how do you use the GUI, that is the graphical interfaces. How do you leverage it? So in that sense, this exam is a bit complex because you need to memorize like where do you click, what can be uh, like options. There can be multiple ways of doing the same thing. So let's see this question. You need to access options to change a dimensions color palette. What is a dimension? Example like country. Country can be a dimension, location, city, state. These can be dimensions, time dimensions like year, quarter, month, and so on. And then we have measures. Measures are numeric values. It can be gross profit, revenue earned, total sales, or you know it can be employee strength, like number of employees and so on. So what this says is you need to access options to change the color palette of that dimension, and in addition to the marks card. So question says that we know using the marks card you can do it, but what else can be leveraged to achieve the same? Now the first option says edit and shelf. So remember, you see this one, edit and shelf. This is primarily used for calculations. It is not used for changing colors. So A would not work. B talks about edit captions. This will help you with the formatting of the titles and captions, like shading and borders and so on. But we are talking about the dimension color palette and not the text or caption. The format menu, option C. So this is what the format menu does. You cannot change the color of the dimension here, but what you can do is you can play around with different elements of the worksheets and headers, tooltips, titles, and so on. So C will not work. So we are left with one option, that is option D. And this should be our answer, the color legend. Using this option, you can uh, see this legend has two categories: categorical legends and quantitative legends. Categorical legends are like categories: first class, same day, second class, and quantitative is just like sum of profits and so on. So using this, you can work and edit colors. If you see, right click, on the Mac Legend, and you can edit the colors both for quantitative as well as categorical. So this would be my final answer. Now question 2, we have to choose 3 answers. Okay, what it's saying is which statement accurately describes dimensions. So we spoke about dimension. What is a dimension? It is something like example year, a time dimension, year, month, quarter, uh, maybe a location dimension. It has multiple levels like country, state, city. So that means it is a qualitative value, not a quantitative. Quantitative is a measure. Quantitative means numbers. Like for example, sales revenue, uh, the population of the country. These are all numbers. These are quantitative, not qualitative. Qualitative is like you are giving a quality to that measure. For example, the profit compared across multiple locations. So location is your qualitative value, or profit compared to the year. Year is your qualitative value. So if we will have to strike out this option because measures are quantitative. It is not, dimensions are qualitative. So option C says it affects the formatting options in the view. This is wrong. It does not affect the formatting options. It does have effect on the level of detail in the view. What it means is level of detail means, for example, you have profit, that is your measure. Now you can report it at a year level, or you can report it at a quarter level, or at the month level. So that is the level of detail, granularity. Year is at a high level, quarter is at a lower level, and month is even lower, week is also lower than that, and days the lowest. Okay, hours, minutes, seconds the lowest. So it does affect, because year is a dimension, and dimension can be continuous and discrete. That this statement is true. So if you see this documentation, so here it is clearly saying dimensions affect the level of detail in a view. Okay, and then it can be continuous or discrete. So these are my 3 answers. Now this next question is about a story. You can create a storyboard. Story is a sequence of viz that work together to convey information. You can create stories to tell data narrative, provide context, demonstrate how decisions relate to outcomes, and so on. So basically you're trying to build a compelling case. So that means option A is correct. It is presenting a data narrative so that the audience arrives at a conclusion. And then B says it provides additional editing and interactive capabilities. So I don't think so, because dashboards also give you that level of capabilities. And then C tells you that to allow for uh, easier exporting to PowerPoint. So that is not why we create a story. So we don't create a dashboard, or we don't create a worksheet or a storyboard just because we want to move it, export it to PowerPoint. That is not the purpose. So this is wrong. Option D is correct. Option D, we assemble a sequenced analysis to share with collaborators. So story is like, what, for example, hey, this is a view which gives you the profit, which is split at a dimension. Year is a dimension, time is a dimension, and then it also tells you a narrative. What if you provide more discounts, your profitability has a positive impact, and so on. So, and then you share this with your collaborators, because ultimately there can be 5 or 6 views, and some people would want to have a view of that and understand the decisions and so on. So you can give it to them, and they can then look at it. They can put in their comments, as a collaborator and so on. These two would be my answers. So if you have not yet subscribed, please do so. You will find it very helpful. So many people have passed their certifications, majorly around AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, Snowflake, and now Tableau as well. So as a part of your cloud strategy, all of these products are important. So stay tuned. This is the cloud handle or the YouTube handle for this channel. You can look out for so many shorts has been posted, small knowledge bits, tidbits. You can refer those, and then there are so many playlists, so many, like 500 plus videos dedicated to solving questions, explaining concepts and so on. So please make use of that opportunity. You can click the join button. The link is in the description, and you can become a cloud kernel member. It will give you access to so many more questions and contents. So this brings us to the end of this part. Stay tuned, stay focused.